episode of my podcast. I'm glad to have you guys here. Before we start, I would like you to just do like a self-introduction. You know, I know you've been here for like twice. This is the first time having you. So please tell us your name, what you do. I think that suffices.
Um, my name is Henry and I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you coming here. So tell us your name again.
Favor. I'm a doctor and a wife. So
All right. Welcome. So today's topic is something that I just like every other topic I've discussed is important, it affects us as a society. And because it's very rampant in where we are, you know, there is this culture of getting into marriage without intention. No, the usual thing is that if you want to get married to somebody, you woo the person, you guys will date for a while and whatever, and then you agree. But sometimes some marriages have started off based off on circumstance. And that's the angle I want to talk about today. And that topic is very, very, very funny, but it's called From Bedroom to Marriage. So basically, when a baby decides the marriage, because sometimes, and we've seen marriages that started off as, oh, because you had to impregnate a girl, and that's when that you have little or no option than to get married to them. We've seen such marriages, and so, but I would like I would like to have like your perspective on those kinds of marriage. What do you think about marriages that start off based on circumstance, especially when a child had to decide that marriage?
Um, the issue back then, those things will work. It does work and it helps as well to control the society. Because when you see person A and B got married, you as a guy will be scared. Oh no, I don't want to experience the same thing at a young age. You as a woman as well, you'll be scared. What happened? You try to be careful. But in this time we have, will you work? No, I don't think that approach will work now.
How do you mean to now? It's not working. So are you saying that some people have not, even in our time, have not gotten married because of a baby?
Yes, they have, but now a lot of things have changed. With time changes a lot of things. So right now, there are a lot of immoralities right now. And a lot of things that we have condoned we think is normal now. But like back then, first of all, we shame ladies that get pregnant at a very early age.
Yes.
The guys as well to involve, we shame them, and that's the reason why you see parents will be like, you have to marry this girl. If you feel you can pregnant someone, then you should be you're old enough to take care of the responsibility on your own. But now it's not like that. Go on.
Do we really shame men?
Yeah, we do. You have not been in that position, that's why you think so. Because men actually are scared of pregnanting girls. Over here in the years, they don't shame. No, they have normalized it. That's why you see, I think the average age for most American ladies to get pregnant is 16. So they don't shame over here. But one thing that they do very well is that child support. That scares men. In Nigeria, they do. Be it a woman, be it a man. You feel they done, but what you are involved, you know that, I've embarrassed my family, my parents, by pregnanting this girl. The girl also did the same thing. I brought shame to my family, gotten pregnant this early age without even being married. So in Africa, but now it's different as well too. Like the example I usually give, back then in the early 90s, stroke late 90s, girls put on trousers, police arrest them on the road. I've experienced it multiple times. But now it's different. They normalize it.
Yeah.
So and again, I'm not saying it's bad in that aspect. I'm just giving you an example of time then and time now. It's two different times we have now. Right back then, men doesn't just go and be like now that we have a lot of side chicks and stuff like that. So this side chick are the ones, the men, the girls we say, the men is their what's the name they call it? No, not baby daddy, like when a lady is
sugar
daddy.
Yeah.
Back then it's different. When a man wants to woo a girl, instead they go and marry the girl. That's why back in some of our parents we have 2, 3 wives, that is the acceptable one. But now it's different. Even the society accepts it as well too. They are like, well, my sugar daddy pays me well. Everybody's like, well, if it works for you, it works for you. Nobody really frown over that. So that's why right now it's not going to work. You can't even just say, oh, because this guy pregnant this girl, oh, you have to marry. The guy say he's not doing it, he won't do it. Nothing you are the parent. The highest you do is not stay in my house anymore. We leave. The girl, even if they force the girl, we leave the girl there and move out as well too. Everybody will just, nobody will say anything. So then it works. Now does it? No.
Okay. Have you seen anybody rush into marriage because of a child?
No, you mean because
A
I
child
got
is involved.
pregnant
Yes.
and then
Yes.
obviously because you don't want to face embarrassment from either your family members, and then there's no, there are many countries where terminating a pregnancy is illegal.
Yeah.
So in situations like that, you have no choice. You can't raise this child alone. Of course, I'm a young girl. I'm trying to fend for myself. Then I'll not bring a child. Who am I going to live with? In back home, we don't live alone. Most girls get married from their parents' house.
Yeah.
So you can't say you're pregnant and say you want to keep the child and still remain in your parents' house. In fact, it is an abomination. They are never going to accept that. So usually once you realize that, oh, I missed my period, you first go and tell the guy, you see you, wahala dey o.
And also, I think also that your point is actually a good reason as well to why now it's different. Because like what she said, back then it's not the same like now where girls now can easily move out and stay on their own. Back then it's not like that. You have to be in your parents' house until you get married. But now it's different. I think that's why a lot of things are different now as well too. Yeah.
So in a situation whereby you find, people starting like, we're going to get married because I have a child with you. Obviously, it might just be a little bit of a push. You're in a relationship with someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you don't feel like you're there yet, but you know that you like this person. You don't want to leave this person anytime soon. But you feel like, yes, in the nearest future, we are going to, maybe settle down together. And then the issue of, the pregnancy now comes in between. You now has to hasten a 1-year process into 1 month. You then realize that, because we have to get married before the bump starts showing, everything now gets rushed within 3 months. They've paid bride price, they've done the wedding, you guys are living together, and then there are certain steps. It now cuts out some certain steps. Maybe you guys have not been able to get to know each other as much as you feel like you would. But because a pregnancy came in, you just have to jump all those necessary relationship steps and then just move to marriage, which is now where the problem is. Because I feel like there are certain processes you need to go through, because this is a total stranger. I don't know if because he worked for our parents, my father and his friend, two of them say, my son will marry your daughter. You people don't know each other from anywhere, and then just bring them together, and then you find out that sometimes the marriages work.
Sometimes the reason they work is because people just decide to endure a lot.
You mean back then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because there has been this thing that like I have a friend back home that she told me that she actually told her mom to divorce her dad. Because she feels that her mom has endured a lot from the man. Now, this is like our parents' age, right? So everybody from outside will think that everything is perfect. I mean, they are doing well. The man is stinkingly rich. The woman, So these are the people that, in their world, they had the traditional family. But this lady feels that her mom has been enjoying a lot, taking a lot of shit from the dad, and told the mom to divorce the dad.
But that also play a role in time difference as well too. Because what we see now and felt like, this is not acceptable now. Back then it is. So right now we would think our parents are taking a lot of shit, either the man or the woman, or my language. But back then it's acceptable. And back then also we are okay with families being involved in our family as well. But when there's a problem, depends on where the problem is coming from, involve both families, they come and resolve it. But now it's different. Everybody felt like that. I'm grown, it's my home, I can handle my own by myself. But there are some things that is really beyond just you. You need a third party, actually. But again, a third party you trust. You believe in, okay, this person will give a reasonable judgment or assessment on this issue. But now it's different. We all just feel we can do it ourselves. And that's why things is actually really going different and badly this time, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, would you say that things are really bad? Now, because people are knowing more of what they want, right? So now, even if a child comes in, if for instance, I'm dating a girl and then we've been together for like 2, 3 years, and then maybe both families know that we've been together, and then along the way, a child comes in. Now, they will feel more comfortable knowing that, I mean, we've been dating for a long time. So I think the ideal thing to do is just to get married and move on. Now, sometimes it's different when you guys are not even dating, or maybe just like something like a fling or whatever, and then a baby comes in between. At that moment, no matter the shame that may come up at every angle, I don't think there will be any pressure from any family to say you must marry, because now I don't really know you. So if I get married to you, or why? Because of a child. Now, if we get into the marriage, there may be problems along the line, and we'll not be able to leave that marriage, as in to do that marriage properly, because just the child is involved. So right now, I think that people are more self-aware of what they want, regardless of whether a child is involved or not.
And in that situation, you can't. That's where the baby mama and the baby daddy comes in,
Right.
because you're not in a relationship with that person.
Yes.
There's no commitment whatsoever. Nobody is planning on. Nobody is even talking about. I don't owe you anything. Even sometimes, if you tell the guy that he's your child, or you tell the lady, you take. I don't know who you are. Like sometimes they can deny you, say because they don't know. Probably they are not 100% confident, because they know that two of you are not 100% committed to each other.
Yes.
So that situation, nobody is going to force anything on anybody. It's up to you if you want to keep the child or not.
And a fling situation actually is rare for parents to actually force on a fling situation.
Sometimes it's not forced, it's just like it's more like trying to cover a shame, and then the influence is not so.
They're forcing them actually.
So maybe
because what the parents do, they carry the lady to the guy's family house. You have pregnant this girl. Carry now wife, now married girl. Yeah, that's what most parents
would do.
And
Yes.
my friend was in that position, even though now they have adjusted, but the early stage it wasn't easy.
It was terrible.
And I know the guy, even though sometimes the way he acts, I know he's kind of regretting, like, because he got to get pregnant, he had no choice, though. Parents involved, he had to marry the girl and stuff like that. Every day he's fighting, they fight and so. Because to him, I'm not ready for this
Right.
yet. You guys just force me now. No, I don't even have job or anything to even start a home. No, I'm dating you, we made a mistake. You say, well, I won't say a child is a mistake, but the acts that leads to that it's not something they plan. No, it's only married people that plan it, not just be
No, please. When you're saying that it's not planned, I won't agree with you.
It's not actually.
Which one is that?
Yeah, there's no mistake in having sex.
No, we're not talking about self, we're talking about child now, right?
No, you said the act leading to the child.
Yeah, that's
It's not planned.
No, I'm just trying to be nice with my words.
No, you don't have to be nice, bro.
No, that's just the truth.
No, don't be nice. Just say everything.
If I say the child, I won't say the child is a mistake. You get my
I
point?
understand you. The child is not a mistake.
Yeah, but
The act itself.
let me try and explain it different. I'm not saying the act, but what leads to that, like, now we're not just like two married people. We are married now. We want to have kids. We are looking at, we like to have our first child next year, stuff like that. So we are doing it deliberate. It's a deliberate act.
Yes.
So now we're having sex with my girlfriend or so.
Mm-hmm.
I not have it in mind. I want to start having kids. Now the girl, the same thing as well too. So to me, I see that as a mistake.
Okay.
No,
Hold on.
are not conscious.
So
okay, yes, that's the right
exactly.
one.
That's right.
Because they are just
Yes, that's the right
fun.
one.
Yes.
Good. That's the
And
right one.
That's a reckless one. So let me explain
You
to
should
you.
face the consequence.
Exactly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what they are facing.
Yeah.
But it's not something they are ready to go into. Just like the right word you use, they are not conscious that it's going to lead to that. You get, so now they are facing it, but they are going to regret. And most of them, it doesn't work well for them. They always just like I give you an example of my friend. Yeah, they fight. There was a guy who was at their house. I went out to charge my phone, but that fight, like the wife own knife. Did not even come out trying to take the knife out from me. So that was when I was like, you are not, if you feel, it's not as if you must marry this girl. If you feel this is not what you really want, it's fine. Send the girl home. You guys are married. That's okay. Send the girl home until when you feel, your head is. But all this fighting is not going to take you guys anywhere at the end. So one person will kill one person. It's going to get worse than what you have been thinking now. Because the girl already have 99 even cut me a little. So the point there is that's why I said that right now it won't work. Back then it does. Because we have normalized a lot of things now that if they do it now, people can easily walk out of it, they won't shame them. These days young girls get pregnant, they snap picture with it, post it, and everybody mind their business. Well, it's not of my concern. Back then we say a lot of things, and that actually helped in the society as well.
Right.
Because like what I believe is you as a parent cannot raise a child alone. You need the society as well to the community. That's just the truth. Because if you check very well, you spend less time with your kids. Majority of the time,
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
So that's why your society, your environment also play a good factor. But we are getting to a stage now where we are living mind your business. It doesn't concern me. So things are getting way kind of different. I won't use the word bad, like you said. Is it bad? No, but yeah, it's kind of different now, and it's not good. If I'm not going to use the
If
word
you say it's
bad,
not good, that means it's bad.
I don't want to call
Why are you not using? Why?
But I would say it's not good right now. Seriously speaking, I would say it's not, because it's part of the reason why, like what Favor said, we're having a lot of baby mama, baby daddy is creeping into
Our society.
the African,
And it has
Nigerian
become
society.
like it's as if it's our own culture, whereas it's not.
Yes.
But right now that we know that we are here, I mean, right now in this country, like we know how things work. So it's a norm here, right? And I see that a lot of times people are trapped. People are trapped. Now we talked about child support, right? What if the person involved decides not to give child support? So the person that is at a disadvantage is usually the woman in this circumstance. So if the man decides to abscond, and now you said that a woman cannot really raise a child alone in the society. Of course, that's how it should be, but that's not how it is, really. Now, I'm coming to you. When a woman finds herself in a situation where, now you guys, even if you want to call it a mistake, okay, let's say it's a mistake, and then the mistake has been made, and the man decides to abscond. At that moment, what do you expect a woman vulnerable at that instance to do?
You make the choice. Like if you decide to train the child alone.
Or
Is that what
yeah,
you decide to train the child?
yes,
alone?
I don't want to train the child, or if you decide that I don't want to train the child alone, I want to manage pregnancy.
It depends. It goes both ways, because in this part of the world, it's actually some states it's legal
Yeah.
to terminate. So it's your choice to say it's my body, my choice. So if you feel like yes, I want to bring this child into the world, you think far ahead. You say yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for get an extra job, do so and so. Look for how I'm going to take care of this child. Or some people even bring the child into the world and then decide that they don't want to take care of the child anymore, and
Right.
then dump the child at the front of somebody's door or in the dumpster or whatever.
Or do adoption, yeah.
Exactly. So it puts these girls at, sometimes they don't have any choice, because sometimes you're 18, you're 16, you haven't even finished high school. What are you going to do? I have my whole life ahead of me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with this child? I can't even take care of myself. Then I'm going to take care of the child. I have no support. The guy just absconded. He doesn't want to have anything to do. My family is not even supporting me at the same time. There are sometimes they say no. You made the decision on your own. You have to continue to make the decision by yourself. And honestly, it's hard to raise a child, and I won't blame. I'm not going to blame whatever decision the mother of a child. If you feel like you're not capable enough, there are people out there who are looking for children to raise. There are people out there who want kids. Not necessarily you should terminate. That is not the right thing to do.
Right.
If you cannot capably raise a child on your own, you can give that child to a home that is looking for a child. You don't need to put a child through, suffering. If you cannot, take care of the child, you don't need to make that child suffer, and all of that. No love, no support at his early stage of life. So just probably See, I always feel like I would like to be the dope auntie.
Okay.
You know, it's better than to have all that burden on yourself. You feel like you want to be in the child's life, once in a while, go visit that family, stay from afar because you cannot provide as such in such a situation whereby it's a mistake. But if it's a case where you did it to tie the guy down,
Exactly.
and then the guy now ran away.
Which one? I mean, the intention at this point does not matter.
Sometimes some
Because
people,
the person at the end of the day is a child that will bear the brunt of it.
some people do it to tie the guy
No,
down.
I'm not asking that. I'm only saying that the intention of why you want to get pregnant for a man is more or less immaterial when a child is involved already. Even if you try, okay, I want to have a child for this guy and I want to tie him down and then he ends up running away, it has made you a baby mama. That title you have already backed it.
And you be baby mama for your life.
Now, another thing I would like to talk about is this. I think there is a level of support that we're not having, that we were not getting from our parents many years ago. When you find a child in situations where they get pregnant, maybe very early. Okay, now maybe I would step aside and say, okay, I can say it could be a mistake. Now, because of age, sometimes when kids are involved, now 13, 14, 15 years, maybe they don't know. I will call it negligence, not recklessness. Now, negligence because they don't have sex education, they've never had it before. They don't know the result of what having sex before marriage or at that tender age would result to. That's what I say is negligence. It's not recklessness. Now, at that point, that's when you start having shaming people, people withdrawing from school because of all those things. People's dreams being cut out, being cut short. But can we come to a society where even though you have a child out of wedlock, your parents will still be there to support you, your family members will still support you, you will still be able to go to school and have your dreams the way you planned it?
To be honest, catering for more than one person in this economy
No, leave
and
economy
time
first.
and that season that we are is hard. So for you to say yes, I've budgeted for, I have a family of we're three, my husband, my two kids, and then that my kid now wants to add another small kid, which makes it 5. So I now have one more extra mouth to feed. I'm gonna look at my paycheck because I budgeted for 4 and I'm even trying to reduce to make sure the kids I raised are independent at a certain age. Then you now want me to start fending for more. Sometimes it might not be, if you're buoyant enough. I feel like if you're buoyant enough, you might accept because it's of no cost to you. But when it now becomes a burden, that's when they now see it as I'm not sufficient, we're not sufficient enough. You just take this on your own, we're not sufficient. That's when it becomes a burden. Parents now don't want to accept that burden because the burden now comes and falls back on them.
Okay, I think when you ask this question, the specific that you're asking in terms of the Nigerian setting.
Yeah, so my intention actually is basically for our own setting back home, like the African setting.
Okay, I know sometimes.
Because I know that there is no shame here. Nobody's shaming you.
So that's why I said that. But if we look at it this way, yes, it's not going to stop you. It shouldn't stop you from continuing your education. But let's also be realistic. You use the term 16, 17 years.
Yes.
16, 17 years get pregnant. Do you actually expect them to be going to school, being heavy, secondary school? Pregnancy is already a lot of work.
Yeah.
So at a young age as well, of course, you're going to stop school. That's for sure. Again, I know right now we're in a time where we don't judge, mind our business. But again, your body, your choice. That's true. It's your body, it's your choice. You did the act, you're now pregnant. Now you're not going to decide how people will react as well too. You have done what you want to do. Now people will react the way they want to react because it's also their choice as well. So they can choose to accept you or not. But this time, we want to also do the way we want to do, my body, my choice, and also decide how people will treat us. Life is not like that. It's your body, your choice. You've done what you want to do. Now, face whatever thing you see after that. I'm talking about sex education. In terms of the African settings, our parents actually do. You know? Yeah,
Yes.
it can be in a different form.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mother will say, if man touch you like
Yes,
this,
they do.
you will get
It might be different from what you know in terms of school,
Yeah.
but they do. No, but you choose to engage in that art. Again, it might be because you are still young, you know, being a guy or a girl, you know. But you also have to also understand there's a certain age you reach, you get to be curious. A lot of things you want to do, you want to try. That's when mistake comes out a lot. That's where also the society plays a very big role as well too. Because if you live in a place where you know they judge a lot, if you do some certain things, like I always go back in time and now as well too.
Yeah.
Back then, you can't just stand with a girl on the road talking. Yeah, if you see your neighbor, you run away. They will tell my parents.
Yes.
So that already puts fear. Now it's different. You see young girls going to hotel. I was in Nigeria last 2 years. The hotel is still young girls coming, like they only come on Friday, like weekend Friday. Like maybe 5 girls will come and pay for just one room. What they do, they go to the swimming pool there and start swimming. Do you know why they do that? Because on Friday, it's mainly when most people come to the hotel, go to the club and stuff.
Yeah.
They are trying to get themselves noticed, and really, they are really young girls as well. You know, so that's also where the problem is. You know, most people just do as they want to do. You know, my body, my choice, everything. But then they want people to when it happens, they overlook. No, don't judge me. Yes, I have a child now, so what? The same way they talk about marriage as well. Yeah, I have a child, that shouldn't count. No, that's my past. No, your past actually decide your now, your future. It's just what it is. You know, people, even here in the US, you know, you commit one crime, you have a record, it affects you pretty much all your life, unless you are lucky to remove from your record. So you're not going to say, yeah, that's my past, I'm no longer doing that, and then all of a sudden let us forget what happened there. No, it's not going to be like that. So we have to start saying all these things and stop trying to make it sound nice, or make it look like our parents, they are not doing this. No, we have to hit the nail on the head so that things will go back the way it were before. The way it were before, and now it's different. Back then, you rarely really see girls that get pregnant with because then we really judge a lot and we laugh them a lot. We really humiliate them. So when you see person A, think the person A is passing through, or you don't want to now, and it play both ways. Because it's not like only the women. Even though the women it gets hit harder, because like when it comes to all those things, women have control. Let's just be sincere. Sex is the women. Pregnancy is a woman. A woman have to agree, unless you are raped.
Yes.
The woman have to agree for sex to happen. In terms of pregnancy as well too, the woman have to agree to keep that pregnancy.
Yeah.
If the man said he wants the child and the lady said no, she will take it out.
Yeah.
Nothing the man will do. If the man said I don't want it, the lady wants it, the lady will keep that pregnancy. So that's why the women get hit more. But regardless, the men still get hit as well. During my bachelor, my friend, too young, young girl, get pregnant. He had to stop school as well. He have expenses to do now, But I think he quit school for like 2-3 years. I have to advise him that I keep on telling him then and the girl, but the girl was scared, thinking, if we send this child to Nigeria, the boy's family will take the child. Like, you don't even have to. The child is already the guy's son. It's yours. It doesn't matter where this child is staying, but at least you guys will continue with your life that you guys already put on hold.
Yes.
So that's what they did, and they end up, finishing their education. But the truth is that it hits both of them hard, not just because the guy has to work.
Yeah.
The girl can't go to school because now you have a little child. Where are you going? Taking the child to daycare is a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
It's not free. The guy doesn't have the money. You have to stop school and start hustling to provide. So we're not going to just make it look like our parents don't. Our parents actually do. But the kids just felt like they are more smarter and wiser than our parents this time. And that's why a lot of them make a lot of mistakes. They don't listen, I will do it and God, there's no consequences. Nobody will judge me. Yeah, they will judge you regardless. But you only know when you're in that
situation.
Yeah, that's when you know.
Some stories are very ugly. Some stories are really, really ugly. And that's why I just feel that even married people, they try to take time before they bring each other to the world. Because they know how hard it is to the child. Right? How much more you're not even ready. Marriage is not in sight, you're just having fun, like you guys called it, and then boom, a child comes in, everything scatters. It's not easy. It's crazy. I'm going to move on from this from this area and ask you guys, can you get married to someone that has a child? A woman that has a child?
I can, but depends.
Please tell us what it depends.
Okay. One, depends on how many kids
Okay.
and the age of the child as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's two major ones. The third one is the father of that child involved. That's child's life.
Okay.
So if the dad is involved, yeah, I cannot. But let's say it's a situation like in the Nigerian setting where some guys, run away and stuff like that. Yes, I can. Because in that situation, I'm pretty much adopting that child. Teaching the child the things I need to and taking responsibility of that child. And maximum is going to be one. Anything more than that, that's already a lot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the age, yeah, maximum I can do 3 maximum. But
is there a reason why the age is particular for you?
yes, because most times depends on the age. It's easier for the child to see you as their father. If the child is 8 to 9, it's harder, and depends on what the child have learned or the level that child have reached. They might even one day when child correcting them, they will tell you, "You're not my dad."
Right.
Because they're already aware.
They're aware.
So
Yes.
it makes it more harder for you to actually raise that child the way you will want to. And it limits you out, but then you just start feeling like, okay, you're not my child, let me don't do this. No, that's already bad. Me, I wouldn't want to be in that situation where I have a child in my house and maybe I end up having my own kids. It looks as if I'm separating them.
Yeah.
This one is better, it's nicer, this one is not, or because I feel it's not my child. So that's why the age will play a role for me as well.
Okay, nice. Now, madam,
I feel
you are married to my brother. Assuming my brother had a child, would you have married him?
Honestly, it was a huge criteria for me.
Okay.
All the guys that approached me,
Yeah.
if you honestly, it was let's say not a red flag, but kind of
It's
a
like,
minus.
Yeah, but more like a deal breaker for you.
Yes, it will take my attention away from you definitely, because I feel like the responsibility, your attention will just be divided, because you want to care for that child, you want to care for that, and usually, especially if the mother of that child is around, probably even if you're not taking care of the child, maybe the child is with the mother, you have a child, but your attention will definitely be there. I did not want that at all. I couldn't do it.
Not the beginning stage.
No, I'm still, sometimes I need to build with you. Then at the beginning, your attention is elsewhere. I didn't feel like it was something I wanted or something I could do. So most of the time, it was just a deal breaker for me.
So, but why is it that it's so easy? Because I think it's easier for men to get married to single mothers and accept the child and the mother than it is for a woman to get married to a man who has a child and wholeheartedly accept that child.
Yeah, one of the reasons is what she just said. Because as a man, just like the example I gave, if I can adopt that child and bears my name, now it becomes mine. But the lady, there's no way till any time that child is still not a child as well. So it's different, when it comes to ladies. Like me, I just felt like if you have a child as a man or a woman, don't look for a guy as well to have a child. Yeah,
wow, you're making this look like
it will save a lot. Yeah, the balance will save a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men as well wouldn't want to be with a girl that have a lot, not all. Likewise, a lot of girls in women aspect is higher actually. A lot of women, once you have a child, it's already a lot of women. That's just the truth. So I think to balance it and also to remove like a lot of stress from you, you're involved with someone, you guys like each other, and then the next thing, I can't really, you guys are not getting serious trying to get married. Like, no, I can't because of this stuff that you have. No, it's better just like if you are HIV positive, you shouldn't be looking for someone that is negative. Look for positive and positive.
Henry.
So you guys the truth now.
What's going to be the result? It's going to be like
No,
plus.
that's the truth now. Because then you set yourself on so many stress. Because now you're telling the girl or the guy, I am this, yes, it's the same thing. You guys already just look past that, okay. Nobody's trying to consider should I or so That's the best way. If you are in that aspect, then look for someone in that area as well too. Not you have a child and the next thing you are trying to go for someone that no,
That's clean.
no.
What
See,
if
yeah.
the situation was like a tragedy? Something happened to the person's spouse, and trying to move on.
All those ones is edge cases. So if we're talking about edge cases now, it's a difference now. Just like saying a lady that have a child that she was raped. That's also edge cases. We're talking about someone that's really, you date someone, got pregnant, is that the guy tonight, or the guy decides doesn't want to marry you. So now you want to, because let's call it spade a spade. In the man aspect, even if the child is with you, you're still going to spend some things. Even though if the baby daddy is involved, you're still going to make some expenses because the child lives with you. There's some things you still have to be giving regardless. So with the woman as well too, even if you don't have any child, when you get married, at the beginning of your marriage, you're already taking care of a child. You have to wake up early, prepare for this child. This child have to go to school. So it's not really a lot. It's not really like something easy. It's a lot to do. So that's a very difficult decision
to make
for someone to make.
Now, you guys are saying all these things, and it's funny. A study came out like recently about a man who got married to a woman with a child. Now, the man said that this particular girl, was 2 years old. He said he wanted 3 is fine for you, 3 below. Now, this is just this is a man like you.
That 3 is just pushing.
Okay. Let's assuming it's 2, just like this one situation, right? He said the baby was 2 years when he got married to the mother. Now, he trained this girl from 2 years till she graduated from college. This is a true life story. Now, on the day of graduation, you know how we get tickets for people that are coming to the hall, the events. The daughter, the girl herself did not give the man ticket to come in. Someone that trained you all your life. Instead, you know who came in? One of those that came in, her own father. That was not there. When I mean like deadbeat father, that was not there, that was not present. He did not contribute to one dime on her head. The dad came in, and then with other people that she gave the tickets to. So this one came online, and then he was venting, he was really angry and heartbroken and all that. So now, if you're telling me that a man who has sacrificed the loss for somebody, that's why I said that it's not the same. When a man wants to get married to a woman with a child, he does it without reservation. He's ready to go every length to accept both the woman and the baby. But it's not the same thing when a woman has a child, gets married to a man who doesn't have a child. Anything that happens to that woman, if the man can sacrifice 110% of his life to them, and they won't appreciate it. It won't change anything. At the end of the day, the relationship is really between the mother and the child, and not the father. He's working in the equation. So in this situation, what are you going to say?
There's a lot of question mark to
The story.
that story, actually.
Okay.
The reason why I say there's a lot, we only hear one part of it, which is the man part. But from my own assessment, I feel there's more to it. Either the mother secretly and the father is secretly involved, or the mom secretly as well too is doing some things that man, like the stepdad per se, is not aware of.
That's not his fault then. So I was hoping that you were talking about things that would be his fault.
No, it's not his fault. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you look from what you just said, the man did not do anything bad. And the real father was never involved in the child's life.
Yes.
So there's no way the child would just give a ticket to that real dad, say, come for my graduation. But again, that's just my own assessment.
Yeah.
That's why I said there's more that we do not know. We only just hear one part, with a lot of questions there as well too.
I'm just curious. Assuming this man did something wrong, or whatever, assuming that he did something wrong, but then of course he has been in the child's life, covering the expenses, training, paying the bills and everything, even the car she's driving, paying for the insurance and everything. Doesn't that qualify him at least to be? Just imagine you saying that you want to get married to someone that has a child, and you do all these things. Please tell me how you're going to feel. Please.
No, of course I will feel bad, but you also have to understand as well too. There are situations where even the real father is involved in the child's life. Maybe down the line he did one mistake or one crazy things. Some kids even go as far as even cutting their fathers off their life just because the father cheats on their mom.
Yeah.
It happens. It's even the rape father as well too. So that's why I said there's more to that we don't know yet. Maybe the dad really involved do all those things, but maybe at the end he did one thing that child felt like no. And maybe at the last minute the rape father, decide to come in and start acting all nice and all this. But all this is just assumption. We don't know. We only know until if we sit them down and ask them questions. They will assess it and be like, oh yeah, this is what will happen. So now, most times on this story, people always say things on their own, from their own perspective, their own view, or the way it's going to suit their own narrative as well.
Yeah.
So, when I'm involved in this, I'm going to tell the story the way anybody that hears it is going to pity me. But when the other person comes and tells their own story as well, it's like, oh, that's so the thing go. No, then it now gives you
perspective,
two views try to balance it. So that one, I don't really think, I'm not going to say the man did bad or the man did not. We only hear just one side of the story, which is the man's side. We don't hear the mother's side of the girl's child story.
Yeah, I mean that's why the opinion that comes in is based off on what we hear. So we are not judging based on what we don't. We are not assuming. We are judging based off on what we hear. Because to be very honest, these stories can be true, even though they are, like you said, there might be other undertones, like other things that happen in the background. But these stories could be true. So if I'm going to be looking at this story on the face value without trying to assume what has happened behind and everything, I would still bring me back to my point that men are fully committed, but women are not.
That is true, but again, we really have to assume when it comes to that. And we're not just going to.
I'm not assuming based off on just that one story alone. Yeah. I'm talking about generally what we have seen happen. It's not just.
But it really don't really happen generally like that.
It's harder for women to accept to go into a home.
Yeah.
No, but
where there's a child already.
He was talking about the example of that man.
It's the same thing I'm saying. It's the same thing. So I'm not saying that if I'm not going to assume based on that story, if I'm taking out that story out of the context, I don't want to assume other things happen.
Okay.
I'm talking about generally it is harder for when a man wants to commit, he commits 100%. That's my own point. I mean, think about it. If you have a contrary opinion, of course.
No, I think it's both ways though.
You think it's both ways?
Yeah, if a woman wants to commit, she commits as well. The thing there is that they both think about it before they go into it. It's a different scenario saying we are married now. Then out of the blue, and I come and tell you, oh, I have a child before. It's 2 years now. But if we are dating and I tell you I have a child, I want us to get married. For you actually agreeing, that's already agree you want to commit to that.
Well. People can commit and decommit.
That's true. That's true as well.
Because that's what the issue. So sometimes it's not about. Sometimes the reason you are agreeing to that thing is because of the person, your partner. Yeah. When you're not coming and be like, oh, I didn't plan to have a child.
No, I think I take my word back actually.
Okay.
yeah, I take my word back because I've seen situations where even we know the man have a child, maybe divorced with the former wife, remarried another girl. The girl knows, oh yeah, you have 2 kids. Yeah. Then at the end, that woman start bullying those kids, maltreating. Yeah, I think I take back my word. I take
back my word. He's saying that it's harder for
that's what I'm saying. Like I agree with. It's harder. So do you agree as well?
You see me, I'm quiet. I know my gender.
You people know yourself.
I just process that like, oh yeah, nah, women though, they would act like it's you that they like, maybe because it's you I want, but I can overlook.
Extra baggage.
Yeah.
See,
they will marry the man and start maltreating those kids then. Try to push them out from your house.
Assuming maybe at the beginning of the marriage there was no child, but when a child comes in, something must change. Yeah. When a child comes in from there, something must change.
Even if a child not even comes from
I'm just
they still maltreat those kids. I've seen that's why I said I take back my word.
Exactly.
It's not both ways.
It's not both ways.
I agree with you when you said the man goes in
100%.
The woman,
yes.
The woman just goes in based on it's you that I want. I will go in with you, but that doesn't mean I will go in with your kids.
Yes.
No? I will act like I accept them. Only when you are around.
You know, I can only imagine what people go through, like what kids go through.
So will you say that if I'm a single parent, I should rather just, for the sake of my kids, I should rather just treat them alone?
Don't you think that is why it's even hard for in a traditional African society when men die in maybe early enough, it's hard for the women to remarry.
Yeah.
How many of them do you see? But men, they remarry.
In that aspect, especially the women's decision not to remarry.
Now, even if they decide to remarry, do you think it will be easy?
It depends on the number of kids also, because the thing
At what stage?
I always do it in both ways. You know, back then and now, I always use that word. Now it's okay. You know, most men usually marry, you know, as long as if you are young, not like, you know, and the kids, you know, depends as well. So not like you have five kids.
Battalion.
Yeah. So in those cases, most of the man as well already have lots of kids. So maybe 5 as well. So okay, let's get married, bring the kids together. But if it's just one, you still, let's look at like favor now, you know, God forbid, it's not going to happen.
Don't even use it as an
Favor is already
example.
No. I know, but she said she not use someone else. You know, got married now, you know, but it's young like favor.
Yeah.
And the husband passed or the divorce. Yeah, men will still come. If it's just one, men will still come and want to get married to that lady. So it depends on the age and the age of the woman as well, too, and the child. That just it. Yeah, men will still. Now men do marry like that, but not
Exactly.
that way.
Not the other way, yes.
Not the other way.
What's one thing you wish Nigerian or African culture would change about marriage and pregnancy? What's just one thing you think? Because to be very, very fair, when you as you have left Nigeria and then you're here, you are seeing things differently. You're seeing how people live their lives regardless of their status, regardless of their decisions. Some people make bad decisions and they still people look at them as human beings, right? But what's one thing you think that because of our culture, when people make mistakes, what's one thing you think that we should change as a people?
I feel okay. There was something someone said to me. Was it on my wedding day, or she just came to whisper into my ear? She was like, "Now you're getting married. You're not marrying just your husband. You're marrying his family.
Yes.
I'm marrying a multitude of people. Why should that be so?
Why shouldn't that be so?
Why should that be so?"
You want me to comment?
Wait, comment now.
Okay, finish. I thought you are done, so finish.
I'm committing to one person.
Yeah.
Now you're saying I should extend that to a battalion. I don't know whether the family is 100 people.
Yeah. I'm
going to extend that. Why should the family be involved in? This is now a nuclear family.
Yes.
We're supposed to start our family by ourselves. But usually in Africa, the boy's mother is involved. Everybody has an
Uncle,
opinion.
auntie
has an opinion. This one has an opinion. You will give birth to the child here. You will do this. You will do. Everybody has an opinion. Why should that be so?
Okay.
But if it's here, it's totally different. You make your choices yourself.
But you said that let's put it in a different way. If the family, they are all, let's say they're kidnappers, armed robbers, just that one guy is not a kidnapper, whatever, he's educated, stuff like that. Will you go ahead and marry that person if you know the family
history?
Like in that community, this family
is bad.
The bad sheep, this area, guys, go area, they are rough, they are this, they kidnap a lot. But this guy you want to get married, would you go ahead with that guy?
Yes,
you will go ahead with the person. Oh wow. Okay, you don't mind whether the family it came from. You don't mind at all. You're even going too far.
Yeah, because
what if when your father started coming to our house to check like how family we came from, and you discovered that we want a good family, that our family is not good at all. So you think that because my brother is a good person, that you want to ignore how bad my family is and go and
so that's what
I said bring it home
to tell you.
Yes.
When the person said that, the person is not really saying you are married to all
that everybody
should
have the opinion.
But you have to understand now is you are not part of this family.
Yes.
Just as your husband is not part of your own family. So that's why in the Igbo land we call them Ogo.
Yes.
Your brother now will call your dad father-in-law. It's now his father as well too. Because you are married to that family, it's married to your family. Now the two family now comes together. So that's what that person is trying to see, not as if you are married to everybody. And in that situation, I swear to you guys have disputes as well. Don't just think you are alone. You know, this your husband do something bad, you can swear call someone you feel this person in the family listen to and report to that person. The person, no, it's not. That's what that person is trying to do. It's not like saying, oh, you are married to everybody in that family. Just that these two families is now one. So any issue you have, you can always still go to this family. Anything you want, you can still go. Just likewise, the same thing with him as well too. So it's not like you're married to the whole family, everybody in that family.
But then I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, my point is that the culture we have is when you get married, the extended family, the parents still have
influence. Like let's say but influence basically.
Yeah.
Now I understand that this leverage, this whole cultural thing, two families are becoming one. It has given people latitude to encroach in people's marriages. You know?
But give me an example when you say I don't think the family have a say. There are some family that really wants to be controlling, and most times those usually happen in families where the parents are really wealthy.
What you are not seen wickedness run in different places.
No, we're talking about a sin, not even a bad.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
from my own experience, I've not really come across to be like, no, you guys have to get pregnant now. So you guys have to have your child in the next 1 year.
Yeah.
Or
you have to leave the child here.
Or you
have to live here. You can't go travel. Yeah.
I've not really come across that.
But those things happen, of course. You can.
I know it happens. That's why I said from things I've seen or heard, it only happen in family where the parents are really super rich, so they want to have that control because they are wealthy. No, my son would go there, or my daughter won't do this, or my daughter won't. It's again, we're not talking about a situation where you feel as if maybe the man is trying to overdo controlling, or the woman is trying to. That's a different scenario. But saying like the parents is not coming like, I have a say, this is how it's going to be. I think it's rare. It happens, but I think it's rare when it comes to that aspect for someone to be worried about that. I think it's rare.
I mean, what I would say is that marriages now are more individualistic. So people are getting closed off. So just like you always say, before and now, right? When people have issues, when people have issues, they run to families for a solution. They try to gather. They will raise. But right now, some people are minding their business more. Right now, they try to cut off. Now it's only the parents and grandparents. Sometimes cousins is too extended for people right now. People no longer try to even, as they are growing, they are moving with everybody. People are cutting off families that they feel are too remote. Now, some cousins are too remote right now. I'm serious. So that's part of it. That's part of the change that we are witnessing in our time and age. So it's no longer a case of if guaranteed, like they always say, if you're married into a family, you're marrying everybody. Now people want to call you on phone and ask you, our wife, we know that you're in this family, so we can call you at any time and ask you whatever. But now people will not even want you to have their number. That number, because you see that this auntie is my husband's auntie. That's too remote for me. I don't have anything to do with them. That kind of thing. So marriages are becoming more individualistic. It's not in fact nuclear now. Nuclear, not is extended is being cut off.
If I'm not going to derail from the topic, you don't think that's also part of the reason why marriages these days don't work?
I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying that is what you are facing. And just like you said, it's true.
Yeah, because that's also a problem now.
It's a problem, yeah.
People are just, it's just me. So even when you guys are fighting, there's nobody to talk to. So the only solution you have is divorce.
Exactly.
But like back then it's not like that. You call the parents and make your husband is misbehaving, you call the dad. If the wife is misbehaving, you call the mom. The mom will talk to the daughter. The daughter will reset. The son will reset. Things keeps on going. But now it's just I'm not going to discuss my marriage with anybody. So now when you are going through stuff, the only thing you have in your head is to leave. Which
there's no endurance again.
I just feel if as long as it's not involved domestic violence or marriage is not bed of roses.
Absolutely,
it's going up and down. So you're not going to say because you're expressing it down, then yes, you're going to leave. two different people. That's you can date someone 10 years, you get married, 1 year you divorce, because the truth there is that dating and marriage is different.
Oh, there are two different things. Yeah.
That's why psychologically you need to be ready going into that. When it comes to kids, you also have to be ready. Now I'm ready, I want to have kids, be it the man or the woman, because it's going to take a toll in your finances. The woman as well too, it's not easy. Carrying that pregnancy first for 9 months, the stress, everything depends on your body as well too. Different changes. So it takes a lot. Pushing family away is not going to help, but bringing them close, it helps a lot of ways. A lot. You can't be families come itself, carry food, yam, this, bring everything to you guys. That extra food you already have at home. If you start having kids, family come, you are going to work, you already have someone taking care of your child without you paying any money. That's another aspect as well. But anyway.
Yeah, honestly speaking, what we have is gold.
Yeah.
What we have is gold. And I don't think we should throw it away for any reason. No matter how woke our generation wants to be, you want to cut off families, you just want to make sure that it's only you and your immediate family. That is terrible. It's not easy. It's not. That's just what I think. Even society is as if because we are traveling, coming to a place that is more individualistic, families are focusing more on themselves than extended families. It's not as if it's a norm. We'll go and bring those things back home, and then that's how I want to live our lives. And it's not okay.
It's not our way as well.
Yeah, it's not our way too.
We are using copying other people's ways.
Yes, detrimental to our own.
And it becomes a problem because it's not something that is meant for us.
Right.
But we want to bring it into our own culture, and it's not really going to go well. Like here is their way.
Yeah.
Even like the white marriage we do, that's a traditional marriage.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Bring it in, spend a lot of money as well. So even if you feel you don't want to pay, look as if
if you don't do it, you are missing out.
Yes, something not doing your wedding,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's another person's traditional marriage. You are now bringing as if it's something. Now you now look as if our own traditional marriage, cultural one, doesn't really have much value. No, if I've not done that one where I wear white gown, then I know. No, she's laughing because she knows now. That means I've not done anything, no. But
oh my God,
we like copying a lot, but we only copy the bad ones, not the good ones.
Not the good ones. That's the point. That's the point. That's the point. Well, it's all good. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your inputs. Thank you for bringing your ideas, and I hope you guys will come back next time when I have something to offer you guys again. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.